Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a TVT, a very, very long TVT here on the map Destination. It's going to be between ForGG and a Mystery Terran. I plugged this into the Brood War Smurf list and came up with nothing. But if you can hang with ForGG in a TVT for this long, it's got to be a pro player. All right, top of Destination is the purple Terran player. It is ForGG. And in the bottom of the map, we have the white Terran player. It is QUE, QEW, QQE. That's right. Now, the good thing about Destination is I can zoom out on the whole thing. I don't go left and right at all. It just top to bottom, man. It fits perfectly my zoom out abilities here, which is really fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Destination is a pretty old map, too. Not a lot of people play it anymore. It's a two-player map. It is where I once watched a Terran player practice pushing against a Zerg who rushed for lurkers for about half an hour once. I don't know why this has stuck with me for so long. I guess I haven't watched a lot of just players practice StarCraft on streams and whatnot. I want to say it was like Justin TV or one of those really old streaming sites before YouTube was around at all, period. And yeah, it was a Terran player who practiced how to get up his Marines and his medics and push out across the map and take down a Zerg who'd gone for lurkers to defend against this on this very map and take down the lurkers before the lurkers took him down. And he was really good at it. I wish I could remember who the player was. It'd be a fun time to go back and look at it. But anyway, this is a TVT. It's not a ZVZ. As a result, we will not see any lurkers at all. And we'll probably see a heck of a lot of mech, you guys. Terran love their tanks in this matchup. They love tanks in all matchups. Let's not lie. But in this matchup especially, tank lines are very common. You see Wraith play. Yeah, see these little roads here on Destination? Man, this brings back memories. Really does. So you get your Marines up here before the lurkers can block this off, right? You get them, you surround them, you'd scan, you'd split your Marines here and split them here, and it was really hard to do, but this Terran player had it down, man. Had it down to a science. And that's what players do. You don't see it really ever on my channel, at the very least, but you don't see players practice, but that's what they do. They practice. They get a teammate to do a build they struggle against over and over and over and over and try to get their timings down and figure out exactly how to position things. And then when they see it in the real world, on the ladder or in a tournament situation, then they're prepared and they're ready to go, and it just feels like second nature to them. That's what everything is, you guys. Everything that we learn is repetition. You do it over and over and over, and then it becomes second nature, and then you're really, really good at it. So both players are scouting fairly effectively here with their SCVs. That said, QUE did not get up that ramp because there was a Marine shutting it down. You do not get up this ramp when there's a Marine sitting there. I'm sorry, SCVs, I know you have a lot of HP, but it is definitely not that much HP. Yeah, these two ramps and your naturals up here, and it's not a very big map. Obviously, if I can zoom out like this and see the whole darn thing in basically two quadrants. I mean, there's a little bit of middle here that's not covered by either of those, but otherwise, I might be doing that quite a bit, you guys. Quite a bit throughout this match, where I'm just zooming all the way out and watching the tank lines go at each other, because that's what it's going to be a lot of. And I don't want to miss any of it, because TVT has a lot of action. Even though, again, it does kind of feel like just a bunch of tank lines sometimes. And really, the longer the game goes on, the more chance there is of Battle Cruiser 2. So if you want to see that, stick around. That's one of the reasons I chose this, because it was a very, very long TVT. Alrighty then. Yep, Vulture's on the way here from ForGG. And again, I'm not entirely convinced this is ForGG, but with the exclamation mark and all, it doesn't seem to be in convention with other Korean players that I have cast, but his APM is about 350. And nobody sits at 350 at this part of a StarCraft game, this early into a StarCraft game, unless they're a pro level at some level here. So I'm inclined to believe this is ForGG. I wish I knew who this QUE player was, but I'm going to call him Q from this point on. Just because, I don't know, it's Q, like from James Bond, I guess. Either way, we do have our Vulture opening here from both players. Vultures do not trigger Spider Mines, so there's no rush to go for Spider Mines in this matchup. You want them eventually, just so you can do some scouting, maybe block off expansions from your opponent that way. But again, early on in the game, it's just Vulture versus Vulture Micro, if that's what you're into. And if you're not, then might as well just sit back home, because again, Spider Mines are not going to help at all. Both players are scouting with their barracks, as we are going to go mech here. There's really no reason to go bio in this particular TVT on this particular map, and really in general at all. Working on Vulture Speed. Vulture Speed can help in these matchups. Anything where you can get a speed upgrade on a unit that you're building, it's going to be useful. Helps you to micro better and helps you to flee from situations where you're in danger. Just really, speed upgrades are good. If there's a speed upgrade in the game for a unit that is used, last time I talked about this, I said basically every speed upgrade in the entire game gets use, and then people are like, but the Scout Falcon, nobody ever makes Scouts, and that is true because Scouts are bad. Because Scouts, for what they cost you, are bad. They are not good value whatsoever, so nobody gets Scout speed. Although, if Scouts were of value, you would see Scout speed every single time. Making units faster is better. Always better. Ooh, saving his scouting barracks there is Q. Vulture's dashing up to pick off that Marine. Defensive Vulture's not quite able to get there in time to save it. We do have Goliath production beginning for ForGG. Any Goliaths over here? Nah, quick tank out here for Q. And continuing to make tanks, even while we do have a bit of a quick Goliath play out of ForGG. I guess he wanted something a little bit beefier to take down the scouting barracks, but not going to happen. Not going to happen for him at all. We do have, just again, defending these little entryways. These roadways are key here on Destination. They're exceptionally useful. And yeah, just defending chokes, man. That's another part of StarCraft that's amazing. All right, so what I'm planning on doing for the month of December, not yet, but soon TM, is I'm going to go back through Day 9's little introductions to StarCraft and just kind of cut out a lot of it. Because I love Day 9 so very, very much, but brief is not something that he is. He is not really capable of being brief in any sense. He will talk a lot about things, and there's a lot of great information, but I think a lot of people look at those videos and say, that's a lot, man. I have to watch 10 videos on Protoss to learn Protoss, and yes, you do. You should go do this. If you're looking to learn a matchup, go watch Day 9's stuff, man. He knows everything. He knows everything. He was a professional Brood War player, you guys. He won a major international Brood War tournament in his younger days. He knows what's up. But what I'm planning on doing is taking a lot of that stuff and condensing it down to like maybe one video for Protoss and one video for Terran and one video for Zerg, and just make sure I cover all the stuff that Day 9 covers. Also, a lot of people have suggested that I watch it to increase my Brood War knowledge as well, so that will be for me at the same time. So if you're interested in maybe a little bit more of a condensed way to learn StarCraft Brood War, then yes, this may be something you're looking for in December. Pushing up a little bit here is Q. I don't know about this. Meanwhile, the Wraiths are out for ForGG, and they're out for blood. They are already here. 7-minute Wraiths in this TVT, again, because there's nothing here for Q to stop this. The tank line is forced to be disbanded as these Wraiths run forth. They're not affected by Spider Mines because they're not ground units at all. What a beautiful opening here from ForGG, going for the Wraith to shut down the 0 anti-air that Q has right now and killing tanks. Tank count is of huge importance in this game. Look how long it takes 2 Wraiths to kill a Marine. That is just criminal. Their anti-air is really good. Oh, and some Goliaths are present. They don't have the Charon booster upgrade, but they're working on it. And they're going to go ahead and shut down the scouting barracks. Again, that is just really good information to have, is what the scouting barracks is returning home. Unfortunately for scouting barracks, it is literally on fire as it flies around. One thing I've suggested in the StarCraft world is that buildings that explode in midair and fall down, they should do damage to the stuff below it. I'm sure it would mess with the balance of StarCraft, both in StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 quite immensely, but I would like it. I think people would build command centers and fly them over enemy bases, hoping that they would kill them and then fall on their SCVs and destroy them. That would be such a new angle to the game. And really, are we all about new angles to the game at this stage in StarCraft? A little bit. A little bit we are. There's that Charon booster. Hitting hard, man. Hitting hard, hitting far, hitting fast. So we're setting up a bit of a line here for ForGG. He's got a lot of Spider Mines across the middle. Not much anything else close to it, though. He is actually starting to make some tanks. He's got a couple down here. Q is down to 2 tanks. Yeah, he would have had a lot more tanks by now, except for those pesky Wraiths, man. Now, remember what I said about this being a small map. This is effectively, you can cut this thing right in half. This space is for ForGG. This space is for Q, and then you just kind of follow it down in an L shape here, as we have a bit of a Vulture versus tank engagement. Not what you want to do if you're Vultures, man. Taking down those Spider Mines before they can trigger on anything. They have to pop up a little bit. You noticed that, right? When Spider Mines trigger, they pop up a little bit, giving themselves a bit of an, not giving themselves an advantage, but giving the enemy an advantage to where they're vulnerable for about a second or so, and you can target fire them down before they run in and explode right in your face. Spider Mines, they're mean. They're mean green spider machines. in production for ForGG, actually replacing his barracks. What the what? What does he need a barracks for? Alright, is mysterious. I guess maybe for future tech pass, but he has a factory. And he's got starports, so I don't know what a barracks would be used for future tech paths. Maybe he... No... To make an engineering bay? No, this is weird. Maybe just for scouting. Maybe he really wants for scouting here. Guess who's here? The Wraiths of ForGG are present again. Pretty decent engagement right here. Tank versus tank. Q is just getting wiped out. Oh, these Goliaths are taking shots as they try to sneak on in. It's one tank sitting here for Q. He ends up getting a kill. Good for him. He's got 3, but 12 HP, which is not all that healthy, if you're wondering about that. But expanding over on this left side is ForGG. This is where it gets really high. Ready? Yep. Even my falsetto can't really compete with that. Anyway, tank lines are here. We're just kinda... We're gonna be here for a while, you guys. I feel like this very middle section of the map, destination, is gonna be home to many tank fires, to many tank pushes of epic magnitudes here. Look, ForGG is sending his barracks in. He is using it for scouting. He was mad that he lost it, and he was like, hey, I need another barracks for the scouting. It's really hard to kill. You'll notice, though, those 3 Goliaths worked really hard to knock it down and couldn't do it. Trying to decide if the music is louder when I zoom in. I don't think it is. Pushing in is Q. He's going to set up in range, take out a couple of these tanks at ForGG. Not too shabby by him. Upgrades here are +1 vehicle weapons for Q, and no upgrades for ForGG yet. He's working on +1, but it's not quite there yet. This is a nice little window that Q has to take down a couple tanks here. Doing bonus damage per shot is so important in these tank versus tank battles. Upgrades are even more important, I think, in mirror matchups than they are in non-mirror matchups, just because you're doing the exact same damage that the other player is doing. Any more damage you can do going to make a huge difference in every single battle. Science facility on the way here for Q. Working on 4 tanks at a time is ForGG. It's 128 to 116 supply. At this stage, we're looking at a stalemate, guys. Nobody can really effectively push against the other guy. I like the positioning of these tanks on the left side for ForGG. The high ground advantage is a big one in StarCraft. Even if you have vision, it's a huge deal. Oh, and taking out a few tanks at ForGG here in the north. Great scans, giving that additional vision. The Vikings providing that as well. And more Vikings on the way. Oh, that tank came in. Wow. 2 HP on that tank. Whew. Don't want to do that. Don't want to get in a situation where you have 2 HP against fellow tanks. Alright, so has every base been taken here? It looks like every base but this one. Q's a little bit behind ForGG. ForGG has... Oh, he didn't take this corner one. Okay, so we're even on base count right now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for ForGG, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Q. Taking this one a little bit earlier, which might be a problem, because this one is easier to take, which you might say, but Falcon, why not take it earlier if that's the case? It's because this one is harder to take, and it's easier to hold in the early game than it is in the late game. And in the late game, if you're getting pushed at your front, you might want to have this economy coming in more than you want this available. So regardless, it is being taken here by Q at this stage of the game, and still holding this in reserve is ForGG. But it was still pushing up past this middle mark a little bit is Q. According to the map here, he is further north of that position. Here we go. Pushing in is Q. Tanks on the high ground, trying to hang on here. SCVs getting pulled in from ForGG to block this ramp. Hold position on the SCVs is a very nice thing to do. Going to lose a ton of workers in the process, but allowing the tank at the high ground to do some more work before he explodes. As he does, more tanks coming in to set up here. Now it's just basically a low ground versus high ground situation, which is not what you want to do, again, in StarCraft at all. Tank versus tank. Don't come up that ramp, Q. He's not going to do it. He's not going up that ramp. It is too scary of a ramp to go up at all. Wraith cloaking, yep, on the way here for ForGG. Called specifically Cloaking Field. Good to know. And oh, what the what? ForGG took this base. Oh, that's a big time deal. ForGG taking this base means he has more bases than Q does, and ForGG has a base in reserve too. Q, you can't let this happen. You can't let this base go down. You gotta shut it down, man. 3 tanks defending it though. That's a hard ramp to get up. I do like that he's kind of got ForGG contained along this left side. In the middle, he's pretty strong too. Now he's forced to push over here and deal with this, because if this base gets mined from, that is future minerals that are being stolen from Q. I mean, current minerals too. Not that he wants the base yet, but he can't let ForGG have this, because then ForGG mines this out, and he has another base, and Q's been down a mining base the entire time. Horrible situation to be in, you guys. Not good at all. Tanks setting fire and just trying to break this thing. He's sacrificing tanks to make it happen, is Q right now, and he does take it down. Goliath's on the ground, and he does clear it out before much really happens from ForGG, but holy smokes, ForGG coming in, trying to defend his own buildings here. Scan available. Lifting the command center here is ForGG. It's providing vision, that extra bit of vision. Again, tanks can shoot farther than they can natively see. If something else can spot for them, they can shoot further, which is huge in these tank versus tank pushes. Oh, the Wraith's flying in, though. The Cloaked Wraith. Oh, that's huge! Goliath down. ForGG, you mean old monster. Yeah, this is a shutdown. Absolutely a shutdown here with these Wraiths. What a brilliant play from ForGG, bringing the Wraiths in a little bit earlier than I think he wanted to. And just wiping out these tanks. Again, not great against tanks, but if you have this many Viking, which is 10, you're going to do okay. 3 Goliaths, though, a little bit too rich for my blood, say the Wraiths. Wraith versus Wraith action up here. I can't even tell what number is in accordance with what number here. Both players scanning, and it looks like ForGG does win that with 3 Wraiths to spare. Actually throwing up missile turrets in this location, too. Good for him. Engineering bay getting wiped out. That was some scouting. SCVs, what are you trying to do, Q? Oh, is Q sacrificing SCVs to free up supply? It doesn't look like he is. Oh, he's trying to distract him from the backside so the tanks can come in from there and clear this out. Wow, what a nice little bit of a 360 surround there out of Q. Maybe not a 360 surround, but a surround nevertheless. Now he's going up this ramp very bravely. Very stupidly. Stupidity and bravery are often very closely tied together. And no, ForGG has your base. He drinks your milkshake, I believe is how they talk about this when the kids are around. So +2 vehicle weapons here for Q. He still has an advantage. ForGG is actually just about done with level 2 vehicle weapons. So he'll be there. He's actually going to be there just very, very, very shortly. Let's see if we can actually watch it happen here. And from 1 to 2, 70 plus 5 to 70 plus 10, which isn't a huge deal, but again, every little bit of damage counts here, especially in a situation where you are in a mirror matchup. All right, Q, here are your buildings. He kind of is going for his raids now. It's about time, if you ask me. This bottom left-hand corner base is doing fairly well for itself, but this base, this is humongous for ForGG economically. He can afford to take worse trades if he has a better economy than Q does. Oh, look at these guys. They have, they don't have any upgrades. They're entirely without upgrades, these raids. Additional armor is on the way here for Q for additional upgrades. Yep, there they are. 1 and 2, and still really... Oh, scouting with the engineering bay again. No, the Wraiths say, get out of our neighborhood. This is our neighborhood. Die. I mean, tanks on the low ground can reach pretty far here, but they can't do much about the SCVs mining for the most part. They can't hit the command center either. That is intentional, by the way. These ramps, if you sit at the bottom, you can't hit the bases on either of these right sides. I'm sure that was a very deliberate balance suggestion and balance idea here. I guess who's coming in? The Wraiths for ForGG. Wraiths making it happen, Cap'n. They're going after the missile turrets. The Goliaths are showing up. Are there enough here? I'm not convinced that there are. The Wraiths believe that there are not either. Trying to kite a little bit back here. Tanks pushing in, not even in siege mode, and just outnumbering the tanks on the ground for Q. And ForGG pushes this position for the first time, really, since it was taken by Q about 15 minutes ago, it feels like. But holding these little roads in the middle of the map here. Great positioning from Q. This Ursidon roaming around, just you know, trying to see what's going on. That's what they sound like, by the way. That's what an Ursidon sounds like, if ever you wanted to know. This is the problem, though. ForGG, man, you are toying with your opponent at this stage of the game. Q is sitting on 4,000 minerals and 1,600 gas, and only at 162 supply. Come on, man, you got this thing. You can step it up. You can spend your money. I believe you can spend your money. Is that? Do it. Do it. Yes, Physics Lab. Physics Lab's on the way. Battle Cruisers in production for Q. Okay, not quite. Not quite there yet, but still. Definitely a thing. But man, ForGG just queuing up Wraiths. Building additional control towers. Here. Oh, the control tower allows him to make Battle Cruisers too. That is part of the tech path. We'll see. I need Q to push this ramp. I know it's going to hurt. I understand that, but I need you to push the ramp. You have numbers on these 4 tanks that ForGG has. I know this ramp is a death march for you. I understand that, but you can't let him. This is the bully. This is the bully in 7th grade pulling your shirt over your head and punching you in the face. Is what this is right now. Because look, he hasn't even touched this top right-hand base at all. ForGG is playing around with this guy as much as he can. Wraith count for Q is up. He clears a tank out, so now to 3. Now it's time to go. I really think it is. There are only 3 tanks here. Additional ones are coming over, including this Wraith flock. It's not a flock, but it's a squadron. Squadron of Wraiths. Thank you. I believe they even, that's one of their voice lines. It's something about a squadron, but I could be wrong. Could be entirely wrong about that. All right, so. Come on, man. Q, I'm questioning your manhood, dude. You gotta do this thing. Questioning your intestinal fortitude. Do you got the guts? Do you have the guts to go up here? He's not, man. He's not, and it's just the worst possible thing that he could be not doing right now. It's 200, 184 supply. Wraith's just wiping out these tanks along the left side. They've been here forever, but ForGG is really pretty much all about just breaking convention and shutting down the things that Q's been doing for most of the game. Defensive cloaked Wraiths here from Q, trying to shove those away, but the tanks are... ForGG showed up with all the tanks in the known universe. These Goliaths are in trouble. There are no tanks to support here at all, and there's a bit of a contain. That has been a bit of a contain is getting shut down. Yeah, man, these tanks are putting in work. I like how there's like yellow caution tape on the nose of those siege tank. I mean, what are they? Siege tank nozzles? Turrets? It's like, be careful. Don't get too close to this. It will blow you up. The Wraith Squadron of ForGG is being chased away here by our friendly neighborhood Goliaths with the Charon booster upgrade. What? They have the 2-2? Nope, just straight up 2. No vehicle armor on the way here. That is battle cruiser energy. That is ship weapons. That is ship plating. Battle cruisers have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Battle cruiser operational. This is what Q has been hearing here for the last couple of minutes. Just Wraiths from ForGG, though. Just Wraiths, nothing else. Quick zoom out here. We can see our tank line set up. See the purple along the left side. We can see Q kind of being a bit of a weird undulation here in the middle of the map, strangely enough. Additional tanks by ForGG coming up to support this base, which, I mean, I guess maybe you have to do that, but maybe you don't. I'm not sure that Q ever intends to push this ramp at all. He's just going missile turret, battle cruiser all the livelong day. Again, keep in mind there's a dude in the missile turret who has been argued as a robot, which would make more sense. I don't know if a human could stand doing this as fast as it's revolving for as long as these games can go on. It's just a weird thing. You got robots for everything else, so might as well be robots on there too. Right. But tank pilots are human, and vulture pilots are human, and wraith pilots are human. Science vessels, I believe, are straight up robots or some kind of a cyborg situation there, which is cool, which is totally fine. And here we go, ForGG taking this top right-hand corner base. He's like, you know what? I could use the additional income here. My bank's only at 4,000. Only been maxed out for about 5 minutes now. Who's trying to come in? Q is, of course, with tanks. He's trying to break this area, but I don't think he has enough to really handle it. Some tanks wandering on in for ForGG. That's some bad tank control, man, because those guys are going to die. Yep. everybody that got close enough to be in siege range of Q got wiped out. Another one down with a scan there from Q, giving that additional range and that additional damage area. And more battle cruisers on the way here for my guy, Q. He's got +1/+1. He's working on +2/+2. He's working on Yamato gun. Yes! Yamato gun on the way. Is it not Yamato cannon? I feel like it's always been Yamato cannon, but it says Yamato gun there, which I feel like is a retroactive change here from Blizzard's team. It's a retcon is what it is. Boy, do I hate retcons. Stand by your story, people. Don't retcon stuff. Make it work. Make it work anyway, even if you don't feel like you can. Science vessel floating around. Don't really need this for anything if you're 4GG right now. But yeah, just wraiths, man. Just wraiths, and more wraiths trying to set up a missile turret at the front here. It's a bad place to set up missile turrets, man. There are tanks just waiting to explode you directly in the face if you happen to wander in that general direction. Hey, if you're watching this and you didn't catch my most recent cast, check this out. If I mouse scroll, it gets rid of the colors in the top left. They go away. What is that? I don't know. I might explain some of the colors missing in previous casts, but I'm definitely still going to be using hit film for this so I can get the colors anyway, because in a TVT it's especially hugely important to be able to see those colors because there's no names up on the top left. Sure, you can see that 4GG's on top and Q's on the bottom and just kind of go straight across this way, but who's got time for that? No one. I ain't got time for that. Absolutely not. So, battle cruisers, they really need to make themselves known presently. I guess maybe when they have 2-2, they'll do it. You've been hearing the scan sound just going pretty much consistently for the last, entire game. Oh, Ray's doing some stuff on the right side here, trying to clear out these missile turrets. No, not going to happen. Clear over in the main base. Again, a line of missile turrets near far as the eye can see here. But once you get past those, maybe it's easier, and by golly, it is. We're just going to sit here and do some stuff. Taking down an armory, denying an upgrade would be good. Trying to get rid of this command center. Doesn't seem like a massive thing, but I mean, I guess it does remove some of the Vespene gas income, as again, even if it's expired, a Vespene refinery will continue to return Vespene. That's the same for all three races, assimilators included. And oh, the battle cruisers are trying to catch these guys as they fly past. Not really going to work out all that well. Most of the raids do manage to get out. But yeah, extractors, assimilators, refineries, they all do return stuff. It's only 2 per trip, but this is getting replaced. Every bit of gas is precious in this game, especially if you're making it like this, especially if you're going battle cruiser. 4GG says, you know what, I just need wraiths, honestly. My wraiths will be just fine against these battle cruisers. They do fantastic single target damage against other air targets, and that's all I really need to do here. Yeah, so both players are maxed out, APM hovering around 300 for 4GG, but again, this base and this base, it's it. I just don't know what Q does in this situation to make any kind of a comeback at all here. Another command center dies. I think Q built this intending to land it at this base, but that was a while ago, and it's very sad. There's a morbid comparison I can make there involving a dead fiance, but I'm not going to do that. All right, you can probably fill in the holes in your mind anyway here. So, battle cruiser count is currently 8 for Q, and he's got the upgrades rolling. He's got 2-2 on these guys. He's going to Yamato cannon down these tanks, as many tanks as he can. Not bad stuff. You could push this now. I really feel like you tanks could go. 4GG making 8 tanks. With the supply that he lost there and losing those tanks, he's making 8 wraiths. 8 wraiths. His wraith group has got to be immense right now. And they're not all together, mind you. Some of them are still over the starports, which created them and trained them. But, I mean, if Q could take down this base, it'd be a big deal. It really would be a big deal. Look at him just preemptively building missile turrets. He knows if he comes in here with tanks, they die because of the wraiths. So fair enough. Tanks trying to come in this way, getting rocked. Missile turrets finally going up, and yeah, all right. Oh boy, but I don't know if he had enough missile turrets up. Ah, the wraiths are so many. The thing is, you can't lose too many of these because you wanted them to deal with the battle cruisers eventually. So he's pulling back, even though he had a great situation where he could have shut this down, I want to say. Oh, here it is. Here's our Wraith versus battle cruiser battle of the day. Cloaked Wraiths, man, versus battle cruisers. Goliath on the ground. Missile turret's going to chase those guys off too, and the Wraiths are going to come back and fight another day. But dang, he might actually take this left-hand base, which is not as good as taking this one. SCV is sacrificing themselves for the good of Q, making additional Goliaths. More SCVs coming in here for ForGG, taking a lot of tank fire here, recognizing ForGG does not need these. Effectively has 2 mining bases, and if you have this many SCVs, it is too many SCVs. It's official. All right, Q's gonna take this base again. There are fewer mineral patches in these ones, 1,700, than in these ones. Actually, you know what? That's not true. What? ForGG had this for way longer. Maybe he just wasn't as actively mining it as this left one. In that case, I apologize, Q. Taking this base is better than taking this base. Still, not an ideal situation for you. Mind. As the Rays, oh, here we go. Wraith fight. Too many missile turrets, dude. You can't afford to just lose these Wraiths. I know you can afford to trade less efficiently than Q can, but just straight up losing Wraiths to missile turrets is not part of the game plan. It really should not be if it is. I mean, if that's what ForGG has on his checklist of things to accomplish in this game, he really needs to do something else about that. Yeah, man. Wraiths. Has he bothered with any upgrades at all? Oh, he has 3-3 now. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention. ForGG got 3-3 on his air units, which means versus air stuff, he does 26 damage on those Gemini missiles, which is just adds up, dude. Adds up immensely. But this tank line, oh yeah. ForGG just set this up and said, get off my porch. I need this base. Really more than anything else at this stage in the game. Plus 3-1, 3-1. Both players sitting on the 3-1, but additional vehicle plating on the way here from Q, and ship weapons and ship plating. So he's going to have 3-3 Wraiths and 3-3 battle cruisers at some point. A lot of missile turrets being tossed up here. Again, there's a lot of excess minerals in this matchup because you're building things like Wraiths and Goliaths and tanks, and they're all very gas heavy. You're not making Marines, which means you have a lot of free minerals available for missile turrets. Especially when your opponent is just going nuts with the Wraiths throughout this game. Where did they even go? There's some there. Oh, there they are. They're defending their homeland. I can't even select all of them. That's how many there are. I mean, that's the maximum number they can fit on this page, and it's 12, which, again, a throwback to being able to select 12 units at a time in StarCraft when it was released, and really forever. But tanks setting up. SCVs here to repair as best as they can. Keep these battle cruisers repaired. It is a bit of a battle cruiser day, man. Yesterday, I posted a game that featured battle cruisers and StarCraft 2. And now today, battle cruisers in the Brood War and the StarCraft Remastered. And SCV's going down. And basically, these BCs are used for Yamato. And then they overextend because, holy crap, the Wraiths. All right, well, thanks for showing up, BCs. Nice to have you around. You cannot engage with those Wraiths in any sense. Period. Nothing. ForGG making additional tanks at this stage of the game. This is it. I know Caster Curse is real, but this Wraith count is crazy. I've never seen this many Wraiths in a game that I've cast in my entire life. None. Again, I haven't cast that many TVTs, so that's fair. Take down a couple tanks, pulling back to the safety of the Goliaths with the missile turrets, and these battle cruisers are going to live a little bit. That said, these SCVs are gone, and this base is toast. Oh, I can. Somebody mentioned this to me in a previous cast in a comment. I can switch between the different graphics with using F5. So let's do that. So here are your wraiths in Remastered. Here are your wraiths in Old School Brood War. Oh, zooming out in Old School Brood War is weird. Oh, that's crazy how much different they are. Crazy. Tanks in Remastered. Tanks in Old School Brood War. They're blockier, aren't they? They're like thicker somehow. And the Goliaths, man, so blotchy. Battle cruisers, looking sleeker and thinner. Even like the grass and the rocks here. I know there's stuff happening, but it's mainly just SCVs going to their deaths here. That is so cool. Boy, that's fun. That's really, really fun. Man, it looks so much better. I had somebody comment on a previous video, StarCraft Remastered. It looks the same as Brood War does. Yeah, that's just your brain, dude. Your brain, when you played old school video games with bad graphics, they filled in the holes in your memories. And the stuff that you remember as looking awesome, you know, when you're playing something like Duke Nukem 3D or Wolfenstein or Brood War. No, that is not the case. It did not look awesome. Your brain just remembers it looking awesome. God, that's fun. I'm going to do this more often. Thanks for the suggestion, whoever that was in chat about a week or so ago. So, I mean, here we are. The bank difference is really huge here. ForGG's got 12,000 minerals banked, and Q has 1,800. As we've established, sure, he has this base. He's not in as dire straits as he otherwise should be, because he should be in dire straits, you guys. This should not be a good position for Q in any sense, but he's alive. He's using a Yamato cannon to wipe out tanks on the other side. Again, that's cost efficient. Got defensive matrix up, but that gets burned through pretty darn easily by those wraiths. And again, this is just our line. This is our battle lines. They have been drawn. Q continuing to make battle cruisers, trying to make this thing happen, trying to pick off tanks on the front line of ForGG. But again, ForGG has so much bank. It's got 7 times as much gas in the bank too. 700 to 100 in favor of ForGG right now. This base is effectively mined out for ForGG, which shows you how long this game has been. This does not feel like it got taken that long ago. This is mined out. This is effectively the closest to a non-mined out base we have. This 9 o'clock position that Q has taken. Zoomed out, they look so much worse. All right, coming up this left side, Q's trying to make it happen. This is the moment we've been waiting for. On the ground, Goliath wiping out most of these battle cruisers. Yeah, man, the Goliaths can eat through them as much as they can, but it's almost like maybe some Valkyries would be a good idea for Q. It is a weird line setup right here. Does not look like they're far enough away that they should be able to not be hit in the face here, but they're definitely far enough away that that's the case. Another Yamato cannon going down. Wraith trying to take down another BC. They get it, and they pull back. Just very careful play here from ForGG. Every battle cruiser that sticks its nose out dies. You just can't stick it out, man. The Wraiths will come in and snap it right off. Like a snapping turtle. Have you seen that video where the guy's like poking a turtle on the ground with a stick? And then the turtle like looks up, and then all of a sudden the camera goes, rah, because the turtle jumped at him. Turtles can jump, you guys. Who knew? A couple of Wraiths getting killed here too, but again, this is really cost-efficient stuff out of ForGG. He can afford to lose a Wraith here and there if he takes down a battle cruiser for Q. That's what it's come down to. That is what it comes down to. What are these 2 mineral patches here, and why are they here? 44 and 156 minerals. ForGG's just like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm good. I cannot believe this is still mining. I mean, not for long on some of those patches. More SCVs coming in, taking in those shots, and it allows ForGG to get a position a little bit closer with its tanks and try to clear out some of these Goliaths and these other tanks from Q. Just, again, inches. Inches are being bought here by sacrificing SCVs. Battle cruisers are going to try to Yamato cannon down a couple more of these tanks, but every time, again, to get close enough to do so, you have to get in range of the raids. It doesn't work, is what it doesn't do. This is our Montagues and the Capulets set up on either side of the street, yelling at each other. Sometimes throwing rocks, sometimes killing each other with swords, and causing massive, just further down the road reactions in everybody involved here. Whoa, are there camera positions? No, kind of. Anyway, SCVs are in here fighting against ForGG's SCVs, who are not actually fighting back. They're just trying to gather Vespene gas. Thank you very much. They are dying, though. They are dying. And pulling back from this position is Q. He doesn't like what he sees. I mean, bank 8,000 to 2,000 in favor of ForGG. Tanks on the low ground here from ForGG. Gonna wipe out these missile turrets quite nicely. Wraiths show up. We're ready to go. If you need us to go in there now that the turrets are gone, we can. They're thinking about it. And here we go. ForGG coming in with the tanks. There's no ground defense at all here at Q's final mining base. These mineral patches are effectively gone. 196 on that guy. He must have been ignored for a long time to still have 196 minerals on him. And what's even the play here from Q? He's going to try to break up this way, but it doesn't matter. This base is mined out. It's toast. It really comes down to minerals right now because, again, you can't run out of Vespene at all. You can't do it, but you can run out of minerals. And anytime you can take down mineral income of your opponent, you're going to want to do it. Force them to spend money on other stuff here. Anything that costs minerals, which is everything. Everything costs minerals. Nothing is just gas in the game of StarCraft Brood War. Man, I like that. I like it a lot. Good feature. Not sure how I missed that. Probably it was part of the announcement for StarCraft Remastered. I remember them doing that in the trailer a bunch. They're like, check this out. Here's some things, and here's how they used to look, and here's how they look now. So much sleeker. Fancy, fancy pants. I am looking forward to Warcraft 3 Reforged. I'm definitely going to be playing that on my Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/FalconPaladin. If you're interested in old school Blizzard stuff, like you probably are, Warcraft 3 is going to be a good time. Warcraft 3 Reforged coming soon with all new cutscenes too. 3D modeling and stuff. It's going to be bonkers. I'm very excited to cast that. Or play it, rather. Alright, so raids on the way here from ForGG. 6 of them. At a time. Again, that's what he's doing. He's replacing everything that he has with wraiths. Q being a little bit impatient here. Getting rid of these missile turrets so that the battle cruisers can take out a couple tanks at the front. Just whittling that tank count down. But again, if you can't deal with the raids, the tanks don't matter. Raids win in that situation. You can't get rid of this tank fleet, this tank squadron, then all of these tanks dying is irrelevant. You're not going to win a base race. Not when there's raids hammering you from overhead the whole time. You need people to kill them. And I understand that Valkyrie wouldn't be good because it would be immediately target fired and killed by these raids, but man, I just can't help but think the splash damage from a Valkyrie would do so much against these raids, which aren't tanky at all to begin with. And really, just watching single target units go after this just makes me really, really sad. I mean, Goliaths are good. They have the range. Missile turrets are good too. They have the range. They have the detection that's so important here against these raids, but I just feel like splash damage is probably going to do it. Q spending his last bits of minerals here on 3 battle cruisers. Does not seem like a lot. More tanks going down to the Yamato gun. Wraiths flying in. Another battle cruiser down. Another battle cruiser down. Another battle cruiser down. Another one down. And the Wraiths escape back into 2018. Yeah, man. It's 150 to 130 supply. Q needs to make something happen. And what does he do? His goal is obviously to kill all of the buildings of ForGG. So killing buildings is a pretty decent thing to do here. Defensive matrix up. Again, it helps a little bit, but they still die, man. The battle cruisers still die here. ForGG has the better strategy. He has the bigger bank. He has the better gas income. I mean, maybe not if this refinery dies, which it could eventually. The scans, man. The scans are prolific. 114 to 152 supply. That battle cruiser takedown, every one of those just eats further and further into Q's available supply here. I mean, you got more tanks coming to the front here. ForGG doesn't want to entirely give up the ground. He wants to make it hard for Q to push, but really, he's just investing a lot into this humongous Wraith fleet. Tanks harassing from the top side here from ForGG. Another tank down here. It's just feels like it's too little from Q is what it does. ForGG's making 7 more Wraiths, you guys. I think he just is going to make enough to where he can swarm this and kill it with Wraith, which is insane. But hey, it's TVT. It's how this works. Is he going for it? Holy crap, he's going for it, kind of. I don't know if he got a battle cruiser there or not, but a bunch of Wraith died. Bunch of Wraiths died there to that anti-air. Again, these are mean. These are mean little guys. 24 damage on the Hellfire missile pack. 34 damage, rather. My math is bad. And Q spending his last minerals on 6 Goliaths and a battle cruiser. The problem is you're slower than this Wraith army. You can't chase them. You need to force them to engage with you. Tanks wrecking the north side here just a little bit. Nice defensive matrix getting tossed up on this guy, but he's getting focused and he's down. He is down for the count. 151 to 104 supply. Wraith count is huge. ForGG's got some tanks coming on down here, but the Goliaths, oh, did they move out of position? They might have moved out of position. They're pulling back in. They're using their little derpy legs to pull back in here. All right, everything's fine, says Q. I didn't abandon my tanks. I didn't abandon my battle cruisers. These Goliaths are hugely important. But Q can't build any more missile turrets. That's the big thing right now. He can't build any. ForGG is not worried about static defense. He's worried about building more tanks and more Wraiths. And I really feel like he just wants to come in here with his Wraiths, wipe out the battle cruisers, and then deal with the Goliaths, if at all possible here. He's pacing back and forth like a jungle cat, waiting for the time to pounce. At some point, I mean, he's down to 92 minerals right now, you guys. He doesn't have any more. He could feasibly mine from this, and feasibly... Actually, he is mining. He got this base back. This 9 o'clock base is his again. Oh, that's hilarious. Hilarious. We're 46 minutes into this thing, you guys. What do you want me to say? ForGG has a huge Wraith army and enough tanks to handle this. Q needs to push. He can't just do a slow siege anymore with missile turrets because he's out of money that way. He's out of money, period. I mean, again, the gas income is coming in, allows him to repair a little bit here, but the minerals are needed for repair too on these units. Again, on anything you repair is slowly going to take your bank out and just remove it from the game. And here it is. Here's the push from Q. He's trying to get rid of these missile turrets. The missile turrets doing some decent damage against the battle cruisers. The Wraiths flying on in. Nice flank attack from ForGG. He has unsieged tanks. He's coming in, diving right on in with these Wraiths. The tanks on the ground not even bothering to siege up right now. Just wiping everything out. And yeah, we're trying to get rid of these Wraiths, but they are just too many. They are dying very quickly, but they are so many right now. Is there enough actually Wraith to deal with these battle cruisers at all? And it's gonna be, there's detection is present, and 3 Wraith remaining. What? And there's your good game. Q taps out. Final battle cruiser gonna die. Very close to death. 3 Wraiths remaining. And that was it. You just needed the 3 Wraiths to have total map control here. Again, the ground army was definitely favoring ForGG at this point. It was 20 supply on the ground right now, so that unsieged tanks just rolling through was a big deal for ForGG, and then was able to take down the final battle cruiser. And that's all he needed to do. He barely, by the skin of his teeth there, just barely managed to make it happen. He did have the money to make a couple more Wraith, and he had a whole bunch back here sitting here too, so it's not like this was his entire Wraith army, but it's just all that he brought to the party. Wow, that was a good one. Really crazy TVT. Battle cruisers maybe not going to work out too well if your opponent is going mass Wraith and tank, as ForGG was. So good game to ForGG. Let's check out this final score screen. I don't know why it's always the Zerg defeat screen or Zerg victory. It's one of those two. Victory screen. Anyway, produced, killed, and lost here. Q looking okay, actually. Killed more units, lost fewer units. Didn't produce as many, though, and that's the big thing here. The Wraith count really increased that produced number for ForGG. Structures in a TVT is kind of interesting in that both will construct a lot. ForGG killed 72, which is more than the 41 that Q managed to do, and resources. Again, here it is. Gas mined, minerals mined, total spent, significantly higher for ForGG throughout the entire game against stealing that base at the 3 o'clock position and making it his own, even though technically it's Q's. Not enough. Not enough, man. Not enough to win the game for Q. Can't let that happen. Can't do it. You gotta fight harder for that one, buddy. All right, that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thanks so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.